I just realized that I've been really working on my chest because the buttons are going in between these titties. And I'm like,
I can see, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I look down.
My chest is the hardest thing to grow. Like, my titties don't be growing. I'm like, come on, give me a little A cup. Come on.
She definitely, she got a long sound to grab.
You look like you got a nice little C. Come on, titty. Yeah.
Get a little sound. We got a little sound.
Hey, community. Here's what's brewing today.
Sinners recap.
Ask your aunties, justify my aggression.
And my biggest red flag. So get your cups ready for Minoritea report. I should have said my big red flag.
My big red flag. It's like, ooh, it's red.
Let me see.
Hey, welcome to Minoritea Report. It's Auntie Corell.
Auntie Dewan.
And it's Auntie Jarrell.
Hey.
Happy Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday.
Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you listening.
Sunday love, yes. Weekend love, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, all the days love. Whatever you doing, get it in, y'all. It's summertime now.
Love or lust, whatever it is.
Yeah, a lot of the summer's lust. Like them thighs come out, the taco meat be coming out the shirt. You're like, yeah, the boys are out.
Now we're getting a full week and a half of just rain over here in New York. It is horrible.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to stay motivated, but we'll
we ain't in Seattle. We ain't choose to be in no Seattle weather.
Look, I'm glad Seattle weather is giving it to other people, okay? Because we don't need. We okay.
This ain't it. There was like the other day, I think I put it on my stories. It rained. I hadn't seen it rain that hard in a while, like years. Mm-hmm. The way that weather came in, and it literally dumped like an inch of rain in like 30 minutes. They said, like, it was so insanity. I was like, damn. Yeah. It felt like an old school like Midwest thunderstorm. That's what it felt like. I was like, I ain't felt this in a minute.
And it's been like
those.
And
I'm not gonna lie,
those are the greatest.
And it's not like just a little like a rainstorm. It rains all day and all night and then all day. Like, it's just coming down in buckets, and it increases and decreases in intensity. So like you'll get some moments where it's just like it's sprinkling, but it's still raining, or it's like coming down. And it's crazy.
You wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it don't rain like that. It does rain all the time in Seattle, but it's you can be outside and not go in the house, be drenched. Like it's
just like misty.
Yeah, it's like a little on the face.
It's just like, just a refresher, a little refresher, if you will. And just that reminded me, there's rain at the Met Gala, so this is how I'm correlating in my brain. If you're looking for the Met Gala, like review that we do every year at this point, and mostly they see who DeWanda is shading the shit out of, it's already up on YouTube. So it's probably, I don't know how they do it. Click that link. It's already out here. So go out there and look it up to get our review of this year's Met Gala of dandyism, and run those numbers up and hit the subscribe button and all that good stuff. We haven't told you to do that in a while, but continue to do so and share with your family and your friends, for the summertime.
Lily. Dewan ran that little girl into actual clothing this year, okay? So
yes.
She was late.
That will be talked about. He said no kitty litter this year, but oh man, but other than the rain, all is well. And I was telling Dewan before you hopped on here, Drew, I was like, I like Dewan in color. Like, he doesn't wear pinks and vibrant colors that often. But I was like, he came on. I was like, okay, looking cute, boo.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking like a stick of gum over there, girl.
Right,
Bubblicious.
Okay, bubblicious. Bubble yum.
The real tea is that I showed him because I found this was like an Instagram buy. I saw it on Instagram. I was like, ooh, I like that. And and it's Beyonce. It looks backwards because cameras and shit. And then he's like, "What does that say underneath? Does that say Kendrick Lamar?" And I said, "I had to look because I seriously didn't even know."
Oh, and I don't even know.
And I've worn this T-shirt a lot of times. It said Beyonce,
Didn't
and I
even
said,
know it
okay.
said Kendrick underneath that.
But it's cute because it's like a superhero
Like a
comic book kind of like style. So it's like I saw that and I was like, I'm buying it.
So
yeah,
like, got me, bitch.
Didn't even see Kendrick. So sorry to that man.
Speaking of Kendrick,
I know he was just in Philly. Did you go?
Went to the concert last night. Kendrick is a motherfucking star.
Yeah.
Like, I knew he was. That motherfucker could command a stage. And shout out to whoever does their speakers and the sound men, because not every rap concert is good with the sound, and it bothers the shit out of me every fucking time. His sound man, because like Kendrick, like you got to pay attention to how, like, because just the tone of his voice doesn't automatically just pierce through a lot of things. It was piercing through them speakers and all the boom 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 boom, with like all the 808s he got in like that especially that latest album. That shit was coming through loud and clear, and I was like, "Thank you, Jesus," because I was about to be mad if it was just muffled the whole time, just sitting there like, "I don't know what the fuck you saying."
I'm going next week.
And I've never seen a crowd go so ham for a song, still like not like us. That shit is like insanity.
It's an anthem.
Yeah. The sea, and he's playing stadiums, like Beyonce. I call them the Beyonce stadiums. To see that many motherfuckers singing A minor, like I was like, what is going on? Damn, Drake, the rest of Drake's life has got to deal with that shit. Like insanity. So yeah, I don't know who's all going.
I'm going next week. I'm going next week.
SZA,
and I can't wait.
Was fine.
Oh,
she's fine. Like, it reminded me of like going to see Beyonce and Jay together. It's Jay. Like Jay is great, but Beyonce's a star.
Okay,
that's how it felt to me. That's how it felt to me.
It's like SZA's great.
Okay. I was like, SZA, you're great.
Star.
But damn, Kendrick. And I wasn't expecting that going into it.
Okay,
at all.
Because I got my tickets because I would know way more SZA songs and lyrics than I know of Kendrick's. I know the classics. I listen to Kendrick music, but as far as like whose songs I will be singing word for word, I will be singing more of her.
And you will,
and I was mad because I missed her tour. And this is my way of being like, nope, I fumbled the bag, missing her on her solo tour, so I'm going for this one. And I can't wait. And I'm taking my sister. And when me and my sister get together,
there you go.
The Gary, Indiana come out. We are ratchet, okay? It's Baps, okay?
Then
That's me and my sister.
Then it's probably going to be Kendrick that gets you to the ratchet mode. I'm telling you.
Oh, I know for a fact it'll be Kendrick that will get us there.
That shit was like, oh shit! It just sounds so good in a stadium.
I can't.
And that's the thing. It's like, to me, SZA music is like, I kind of want to listen to my bedroom because like I'm mad at my husband today and fuck that dude, like, so you gotta be in your feelings with SZA sometimes. And in the concert, you don't really want to be in your feelings too much, and so that's what the difference is.
But it's always time for fuck nigga energy though.
Oh, 1,000,
like
1,000.
Because for real, fuck these niggas. So that's why I'm always in SZA mood because what are they doing?
I was singing along for sure. But the turn up was Kendrick all night, and
I love that.
The way he like, I just love like the way things are woven together. The whole concert was woven together very well because like there's no headliner per se. Yeah. So they did a very good job about that. But the way Kendrick was weaving his shit together, oh my God, I was like, Kendrick, you're a fucking star. I knew you were, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And it's not like he doing like an 8 count or nothing. Like, like it tripped me out. And even Corey was like, Kendrick's good, ain't he? I'm like, yes.
Oh, Corey went?
Like, even Corey, because Corey ain't no Nan song. He knew Mustard.
That's why I was surprised that Corey went. I was like, oh, okay.
He ain't no Nan song. He knew maybe out of the, God, they did like 50 songs. And that's not even like an over exaggeration. It probably might have been about 50 songs. He might have known maybe 3 or 4 SZAs, and maybe 4 or 5 of Kendrick's, if that.
Wow. Although I kind of like that though, because you get like this raw experience to their music in that level, in that capacity, which changes music a lot. That's one of my favorite things to do is like, okay, I like 2 or 3 songs of this person, but I'll go and see him in concert to see if I like him even more. Yeah.
The kid, I also didn't realize kids these days love them some Kendrick and SZA. The row in front of us, the average age was maybe 18.
Yeah.
19, maybe. These kids knew every word of both of them. Like it made me have a throwback moment because I was like, oh, that's how I was probably rapping like Cash Money back in the day and like Nelly and shit and Luda, you know? Like I was just sitting there in court and I just kept looking at each other like chuckling because like they were enjoying themselves so much. And it's just cool to have those moments where you're like, okay, there ain't nothing wrong in the world right now. I'm just rapping my favorite rapper, singing my favorite singer, and life is good. And it was cool to feel that. And I was like, damn.
Quick question.
I feel old.
What was the racial makeup of
everybody? Okay. Everybody.
And then was like, everybody singing all of the words?
Because there's a lot of
there's a lot of niggas.
I know there's a lot of N-words.
There's a lot of niggas.
And I was watching too.
Like
just in case I had to pop some of them in their face. Because the kids in front of me, it was he can almost maybe look Indian, black girl. Mm-hmm. She looked maybe Indian, Asian. The guy right here, maybe almost like Pakistani, and then the girl on the end, white, for lack of better words. Mm-hmm. So like, and that was the makeup of the stadium, and then a lot of black people, obviously, because it's Philly, but the makeup was everybody. I thought I was up on like fandoms and everything. It shocked me, and it was a very good show. You'll enjoy Jarrell for sure. For sure. Yeah. Because this one I was kind of borderline. I was like, I want to be there for the culture moment, but if I miss it, I miss it. But I'm glad I would. I'm glad I paid.
Look, I told y'all in December when I was running my first like little cohort for the Black Employee Network at work, I said, hey, for the culture, we're going to take a 30-minute little recess here, so we're going to go get these damn tickets. Because we all understood for the culture, we're going to be up in there.
Yeah, man.
And I'm excited. And another reason why I love when black artists come to Seattle is because that's when all the niggas come out too. Mm-hmm. So like I get to be around. Like let me tell you, in the last 2 weeks, I've been to Duran Bernard and I've been to Nao as well, and I'm like. Mm-hmm. Niggas. It's been so nice. I'm like, y'all come out inside and play. Why you always on punishment? Come outside and play. Damn.
They said peekaboo.
Look.
Oh yeah. So I can't wait to hear your experience on it. But yeah. Anyway, and then another thing that these two have been on me, which is fine because we've had guests the last 2 weeks. Phenomenal guests, by the way. So shout out to Mayhem. Shout out to Evian. Because those 2 episodes gave me life. I rarely listen back to full episodes anymore after I edit them. I was like, these were some good-ass episodes.
Also, it seemed like the community really appreciated both of those episodes for very different reasons, and there was a lot of like commentary and just like big ups to like the guests, but also just I think they appreciated having like those different perspectives being shared on the podcast. So that was nice.
So yeah, continue to comment, community. We love the comments. We love the chatter, But one thing y'all have been on me, be like, we can't even talk about it yet because your ass ain't seen it yet. Yeah, I'm surprised you ain't synced it yet. Well, I synced it now, and we done synced Sinners. And I don't even know how to set this up because there's so much.
We'll let you go first because we sat with this for 2 weeks. So you go first.
I honestly I knew it was going to be like a horror movie, quote unquote, and a vampire movie. But other than that, I didn't really do too much research because I wanted to be kind of surprised. Mm-hmm. And parts of the movie, I was like, "How y'all get me in this devil movie?"
You mean the first scene with the preacher and they're intersplicing it?
Jesus,
yeah.
I was like, Lord, protect me from watching this damn movie. My bad.
And by the way, if you are listening to this and you haven't seen it, Tough
Ooh,
titty
spoiler
because we are tough titties because everybody and their mama been talking about this movie for the last couple of weeks. So
yeah.
you know.
And I did get to see it in IMAX. I really wanted to see it in IMAX, but they took it out because of Thunderbolts. But now they're bringing it back to certain select IMAX, and it's not the one here in Philly. It's one in New York, and then sold out. So I was like, well, damn, okay, I guess I ain't going to see it.
By the way, that the movie has been sold out in New York for the last 3 weeks. Literally, I got a chance to see it. I had to go down to Times Square to see it, and nobody that live here go down there to go see it.
You said Lenovo. Sorry, that was before the
private joke.
No. But just, like even before kind of like dissecting it, it was a beautifully shot movie. It was a beautifully acted movie. It was a beautifully just the musicality movie, and I hope it shows Hollywood that you don't need white people to tell different kinds of stories. If it's made up, and obviously a lot of this was rooted in our culture, but at the bare minimum, if vampires are made up, black people can play that shit, along with white people and Asian people and other, at bare minimum, if you don't take shit else off this movie, other cultures can play shit. And it's going to be fire. And the coin that come out of it is speaking for itself.
Even though
that's what minimum people take out of this.
Even though mainstream media tried to downplay their success.
Ryan Coogler.
And I love the fact that everybody and their mama, even people that weren't even involved with the film, clapped the fuck back and called that shit out. I love that. That was so beautiful to see because that was happening even before I saw the movie. So I'm like, damn, what the heck is going on? Like, what is all this all about? And when I saw the movie, it's like, oh yeah, they bullshitting.
Yeah,
they bullshitting.
But yeah, I was like, oh Lord, let me stay prayed up though, Jesus. But yeah, no, it was a phenomenal movie, and honestly, I want to see it again because there's just a lot going on that like in just a typical just horror movie and just certain movies. You might miss certain clues. So now the second time around, I want to go back and be like, oh, I missed that clue. Or, ooh, I missed that point. Or, ooh, whatever it may be. So I'm excited to do that. And I'm sure we'll talk about, there's that one scene, and maybe that's what you were saying. There's one scene you wanted to ask me about. So I'll wait to talk about it to see if that's what it is. But, yeah, I just haven't seen a movie that wasn't outside of just something that's already been done before. Even though vampires have been done before, this is just completely different and rooted in our culture. Kudos. And if it's not nominated, by the way, too, for movie of the what do they call it for the Oscar of the year, movie of the year? Tear this motherfucker down, burn it all down, burn it all down, because they hating.
Yeah. Well, that's why now everyone has to watch the movies that they're going to vote for this year. So it's a good thing that everybody is standing up for this movie as well too, and they going to see it.
It might rub a few people the wrong way though.
And because
there's a lot of movies that don't rub us the wrong way.
Well, no, I'm talking about because of the context of the movie may rub people the wrong way because of who the villain is in the movie.
It's the white devil.
I'm just saying. Which, low key, can we just have a moment to just appreciate there were so many subtle moments about blackness and how we talk to each other and about things and experience things that were baked into this that I don't think a lot of people really can connect the dots intellectually, right? But they might not understand the historical and the social context in which these things are happening in. So the fact that the antagonist through this movie is a white devil, literally. And the first people he didn't bit after getting ran out of the
indigenous people,
the indigenous people's lands, is KKK folks. And then there's more KKK folks trying to sell selling the juke joint to the folks. It's rare that we as black people have a movie that embraces and reflects our perspective. And not a lot of people get that. And what we see with a lot of movies, not all, because there are quite a few, like Boys in the Hood, and we can call a lot of them that really reflect our.
Yeah.
But there was just something really joyous about how this movie was produced, scripted, acted, the connections between the people. Like, it's rare. This to me felt like a modern day, even though there was a supernatural element, it felt like a modern day Color Purple. And minus, a lot of the interpersonal traumas that happen or whatever, this felt more joyous and you ain't like us versus, playing on the stereotypes of our community, particularly the negative stereotypes of our community. And this
is how you do a movie to, like you say, to play on stereotypes or cultural references that doesn't feel condescending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an all day, every day. That's just how we are.
Yeah.
Sometimes other movies will condescend it and make it feel like that part of our culture is less than. This uplifted it and just said, no, this is just all day, every day, and it felt normalized. And I was like, damn, this is dope.
Yeah. A little bit too of it though, I think, is also just like the tone, right? Mm-hmm. Like the tone and the mannerisms also just felt very modern. Mm-hmm. Like, not often do I get to see myself in movies and think about like, oh, I can see myself like being like, in this movie, like, even though it was old as fuck and it's from way back when and you got vampires and shit like that, I'm like, damn, I would say some shit like that. Like, just how, like, even the white girl, Haley Steinfeld, when she even had some of that tone and mannerism, and she was like, she's like, so you fucked me so good and you just think you gonna leave me? I was like, ooh. Look, I said, oh, okay.
Because wait, didn't they say something in the movie like maybe she is from around here or something like that?
Yeah.
And that's some shit we would say, but like, oh damn, this white girl got some shit.
Look,
maybe
go ahead,
she might be able to come to the picnic.
Look. So it was just funny, and I also liked when it started to go down, and like they had to like get permission to come in. Like when the big dude couldn't come in, and she was like, now you know your big ass can walk up in this door. So why all of a sudden your ass can't?
You need permission.
You need permission with your big ass. Permission. And I was like, shut the fuck up, ain't nobody talking to you. Right. Because that's the shit, we will say something like that, when someone's like, oh, are you calling me out? But shut the fuck up, man, damn.
But I even love how, like, it's so part of our culture, like, when you're in an unknown situation, like, they were in an unknown, they ain't got the internet, so they're in an unknown situation. They all except for one person didn't even never even heard of a vampire or a hate that ended up being a vampire. So like, I love that dynamic of, when she spoke up and said, oh, that's a vampire. And she knew like, oh, about the garlic and about the, they have to be invited in.
It wasn't staged.
The entire, they weren't, the group of folks in the movie, they weren't arguing with her. Like, oh, you seem to know this. What do we got to do? And they just, and that's how
we all got that one black woman in the community that's the voodoo lady anyway. Like, okay, she's
no, but it's also
she's
that
rooted
thing,
in
like,
something else.
But it's the whole thing, like respecting other people's ministry. That ain't my ministry, so you know what? That's your specialty. So I'm gonna trust in you, and that's one thing we gonna do. I don't know it, but you do. Cool, I'm following your lead. Say less.
That.
Yeah. It was a good move. And the scene, Carell, that I wanted to pick your brain on was the song that he sang that called the White Devils. I'm gonna keep calling them that. To the juke joint, and just the generation of music that was started, that was incorporated, and then the cultural references of different ethnicities that were also in there that was pulled in as well.
Yeah, man.
When I saw that scene, I was like, damn, this is like some world peace type of fucking shit. Like, I was just like, damn. Like, we all just existing.
Well done and executed piece of just like movie I've seen in a long time. A. B, the musicality and how they incorporated all the generational stuff was like some of the best musicality score shit that I've like heard in a long ass time. And then even the cinematography of like it was like a steady long cam scene, like, and there was several moments in the movie where they kind of did these long takes.
Yep.
I was just like, this is in fucking credible.
Yeah.
Even though I was like, oh, this is the devil. Okay, hold on, Jesus. But I was just like, it was just like, we talk about it all the time on the podcast. We just love seeing people in their element do good shit and have the coin to be able to do it as well. This was one of those moments for me. So Beyonce's up there, Ryan Coogler, you know, join the club, Playboy. Like to trust him to do this, and obviously he's proven himself with like billions of dollars in the box office. So don't play with Ryan Coogler. So that's what made me fucking mad too, because you ain't saying that shit about Martin Scorsese and all these other motherfuckers. Like, so stop playing with Quentin. You ain't say this shit when Quentin Tarantino did the same deal before. Stop playing with Ryan.
Yeah.
But to see someone that's just so good at their craft and the creativity, and then to have the coin and the execution, I love shit like that so bad. Like it, it's the best. It's the best. So yeah, no, that scene, and that's the scene I was thinking of when you were gonna ask. I was like, oh, this is gonna be the scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but it was also striking to me because just like growing up for me in the church, between like the secular and church music and like, oh, that devil music and all that stuff, like it kind of struck a chord too, because it's just shit that you hear growing up, and it was just interesting how, I don't know if it triggered something, but it's just like, God, it was just stuff I hadn't thought about in so long. That's just like, man, I've heard folks say that, but like, oh, you know, like you don't want to play with the devil if you want to, like just stuff like that. And it's just like for Ryan to kind of put all that into a story that is fictional story, but so rooted in reality, was incredible. And again, it's just, it makes me just think of, just because you hear the stories of just like people investing in folks. Like, so Ryan, his wife invested in the script program and things like that for him to even like start writing scripts and things like that. Invest in people, build your community up, because we would have never gotten this incredible movie if his wife was like, well, you know what, I ain't got the coin either, write the shit in Word, and he might have given up or something. It's just, you never know those seeds of moments that's going to propel folks 10, 15, 20 years down the line to do something like this. So that's what also this whole movie was like, kind of make me think. I was like, damn, we almost didn't get a Ryan Coogler. We almost didn't get a Black Panther. So, you know, like, it kind of made me well up a little bit, because I was just like, we're so dope.
This is why we wanted your ass to watch this movie so long ago, because this reaction right here. So next time, we gonna need to tell Corey Edwards to move his ass so we can talk about this sooner.
Well, it worked out. We had guests, so we had guests.
True. I guess.
Yeah, thanks for stringing us along.
Have you seen it? Would you go and see it again in the theater?
I've already seen it twice.
Yeah, you saw it twice. Okay.
Yeah, and I will see it again. I'll probably see it when I get back from Spain. Yeah, in the theater. Like, I feel like this is going to be one of those movies that like is going to be part of the Black ecosphere. It's going to be one of those. There were so many quotable lines in this movie. Yeah. Like I started making a list of things because there were so many things that were just like.
Ooh, say some of them, because I forget some of them. Okay,
so when Smoke shot the guy in the ass, and after they figured out that they knew each other, and the guy was like, yeah, you know, you shot me in my ass. He goes, yeah, just put some pressure on it and scoot your ass onto the side of the road.
And shout out to that actor, by the way, too. And I forget off the top of my name. Is Adele? Starts with a D. He's just another actor that's just been in so many movies and doesn't get like the shine as often. But I love that they put some, obviously it was a lot of newer folks, but like sprinkled in folks that you just seen in a lot of Black movies, a lot of just movies over time. They give them a moment to really shine with like some meaty pieces of, you know, of language in these movies that like, yeah, no, that was a funny line.
Another one was at the very end when Preacher Boy and Slack are talking, and he's like, and he had destroyed the guitar by, you know, slamming it in his face, and he was like, you know, like, you can just leave the pieces behind. He's like, I can't, because it's, I forget who he said the guy is, and he goes, oh shit, man, that was our daddy guitar. So it was a lie the whole time. And then there was the other one where Smoke, after he just got bit and he's in the room and they had locked the door, and they say, who is it? He goes, Jim Crow. Like, there were so many moments that were just quotable. And also, like, I love, like, this, just the sense of humor. Because, you know, like, that's one thing that we as Black people have. Like, you could be having the most terrible day and still find a way to make yourself or somebody else laugh about whatever the fuck is going on. And there were so many moments that were just like, everything was heated and things were super intense, and something would happen and it would just break the ice. Like, for example, when they're doing the garlic, and Slim takes the garlic and he starts like kind of like choking, and he does that little karate chop at the end because he had been drinking all that beer, so he had all that hops in his system, and then he took that garlic and it started bubbling up or whatever. That was just such a subtle but hilarious moment that completely broke the ice. And then when we realized that he was okay, it was like,
yeah.
Or the scene where Remick, when what's the white girl's name? Well, the mulatto girl, the girlfriend. I forget what her name is. Well, when she went out to talk, whenever she went out to talk to them, and then she started walking back.
Mary,
whatever her name is. I got I didn't see it twice, but I don't remember names. So, but when he flew up behind her, because that was the first time in the movie that you saw her fly, and everybody was like, "Huh?" And then the very next scene was a jump scare, but it was the girl Adeline singing. It wasn't her screaming. So it was like the whole theater gasped. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like in our theater, whole theater gasped audibly. And then we saw the girl screaming. We were like, oh, she just singing. It's like so many moments like that.
With that Karen Carpenter themselves. The song was kind of a bop, low key.
It was cute.
I'm like, see, and that's another Black thing though. We like white music. It's got to be good, and it's got to be like a little bop. So we love the Carpenters. Yeah. We love Paramore. We like, there's just certain generations of shit. We like, it's got to be good, though. It might not be exactly how we would execute it, but it was cute.
Or that scene when Preacher Boy ran out after everybody was fighting and Slim and Smoke were fighting each other. He ran out the door, and then all of a sudden he was on the second floor and just fell 100 feet down to the ground. Everybody's like, "Woo!" It was so great to see and hear so many visible and audible reactions in the movie theater. Yeah. And coming away from this movie, like, this was what movie making is about. It's getting people engaged. Telling really great stories, having people having an emotional reaction to what they're seeing and experiencing, and you feel like it's a community event versus just something that you experience singularly.
And the actor is Delroy Lindo. That's who it is. That's who I was thinking of. I was like, he's just been in a lot of shit. But again, it just shows. I like the root of the movie too. It's just like, white people stay trying to steal our shit. Try to appropriate the music. Try to steal, they see something good and be like, okay, we're going to try to steal this shit. We're going to vampire the shit out of you, eat you alive, and rob you for all the soul that it is.
I did like that there was a little bit of redemption or there was like kind of a redeeming quality, and you could kind of understand Remick's point of view, whether you believe him or not. Because when he was saying basically that we can create our own community and live forever. And, even though he died, and even though most of the people out there died, we know that Smoke and old girl still stayed together because, at the end they came back and they were still young or whatever. So it's kind of like, it kind of was like, should we have did it? And then when he was talking to his brother, he's like, there's still time. I can smell the death on you. You don't got much time left. He goes, nah, I didn't see enough of this world. That took me out because that is so relatable.
And shout out to Buddy Guy, another person to give flowers to while they're alive in Black culture. I'm glad that they got a real culture icon to play that at the end. And Community, this is how you know it's so good of a movie. We ain't even talk about how fine Michael B. Jordan is yet. And we don't talk about this for 30 minutes. That motherfucker fine the shit.
Can we please just take a moment to like revel over that sex scene and the fact that he was in love with a beautiful, dark-skinned, voluptuous, kinky-haired woman who just owned her own everything. And that whole scene, baby.
I was like, I want to lick his ear too, baby.
You could hear a dropped. People were loud throughout most of the movie, but when that scene happened and she put her hand in his crotch, everybody's like, "Oh!"
Right. Oof. I know. When I was writing stuff in my phone, let me see here. I go, I like the line. I wrote it down. It says, "Your body ain't forget me." I was like, that's a sexy ass line.
Absolutely.
Woo! Woo! Mm-hmm. And then I said right up there, I was like, I want to put my hand on Michael B. Jordan's crotch.
But how about the scene where Stack goes over to Cornbread and who's picking cotton in the field, and he's like, he's saying, he's like, yo girl, because he was calling his girl a bitch or whatever, and he was like, you're not going to be out here disrespecting my wife or whatever. She go, well, you'll be able to call her whatever you want. You might even be able to get, put your pecker in her mouth once I tell you how much money she about to make. And then she go step in and say, well, how much money we talking about? That's it. I know that's right.
A word.
That was a real moment right there.
A whole ass word. And then I did write this down. There was a scene that they lit the candle to the beat of the guitar, and I was like, "That's a fucking," like they said. I was like, "That's fucking brilliant." Little shit like that, gets me off every time.
Oh, and
every fucking
the
time.
scene where they're playing the music, and they're showing like the different centuries of people that have the similar kind of talent, and they're explaining that some people have this universal talent, but it also can attract evil.
Summon the dead.
But just the way that it was shot, the way that they showed, different artists at different points, past, present, future, and different people dancing.
Which one was that 15 minutes ago?
Yeah, where was she?
Well, I didn't see Kendrick Lamar, and I don't know lyrics to music. So what are we talking about?
No, we talked about that. We talked about that scene.
Yeah, I missed that part.
All right, so we need to put a pin on this and move on to the next
We'll take
topic.
a quick
That's
little
what that
tea break
means.
because we got to ask you, Auntie. So, yeah, quick little tea break. Hey, community. A lot of you have asked how you can support Minoritea Report outside of the sharing and downloading and subscribing and leaving reviews. But you can also buy merch. Come on, baby.
I know that's right. And we have a whole lot of options, from clothing to pillows to tumblers and bags. And we continue to update all of our stuff with new styles, new colors, and new products. Jarrell, where can they get all that stuff at?
Well, they can get all that and then some at MinorityReport.com. They can find all the goodies, find out additional information about your aunties. And we also want to make sure that you share and tag us when you do buy merch, all right? So let us know if it's a hoodie, it's a tee, a long shirt, a towel, because we know you need those. But let us know.
Absolutely. And remember to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass.
I missed
I literally said, Krell, the scene I wanted to ask you about the question was the generational music part where you saw them.
The generational cut out. It was like it was coming in and out, so I didn't hear that. So I just thought he was talking about just the regular, okay.
That's super
Scratch
funny.
that.
Alrighty, ladies. What time is it?
Ask
Your
auntie.
And let's see here. This one's a quick one, and this one came in from the community here. So it says, do you find that as a Black LGBTQIA plus individual, you have to excessively justify your actions and emotions when seeking help after being victimized, only to be blamed and portrayed as the aggressor?
Only when I give a fuck about who I'm talking to.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, if you are somebody that I care about, then I will make sure that I am very clear in what happened, so that way there is zero there's zero misunderstanding. But if you somebody I don't care about, I'm not telling you gonna get exactly how it is. I'm gonna do it and say it exactly how I want to in that moment, because it's not fuck me, it's definitely fuck you in that situation. and if you giving me that fuck you energy, I'm gonna give it right back to you. And I no longer am being responsible for white people not being able to have accountability for their actions and what they do in scenes and in situations. I tell this to every single white person I ever come across. You know exactly where you stand with me every single day, every single minute of the motherfucking day, because I don't beat around the bush. And I'm going to call you out every single time. And because that's how I live my life all the time, people don't got to worry about wondering what Jarrell did, what Jarrell didn't do, because I don't ever switch up. I don't ever switch up. Now, like I said, I will only explain my actions and emotions when I'm getting into it with someone I care about and I want to respect what we have. But if I'm not doing that, it's a big old fuck you.
What are you thinking, Juwan?
I'm a Leo. So I'm not justifying myself to anybody. Like, if this is a conversation we have to have, we're not having that conversation. I'm just walking away because clearly you're not a friend.
Not a friend.
What is there to talk about? Like, I'm piggybacking what Jarrell said, and I've said this many times on the podcast. I've entered I'm not teaching you any shit about our culture, our history. It's not my job to teach you how to be a decent human being. If you can't understand and see with your own eyes what the fuck is going on, and then you want to put the blame on me for a situation that's racially charged and I'm the victim of it, but I'm being blamed, and you don't see that, there ain't nothing for us to talk about. So, I don't excessively have to justify. I never justify. It's not happening anymore.
Yeah. And I've also come to realize too how often I've seen white people, and that's white people all over this world, fall into doing shit like that in situations where they say something out of pocket. They are trying to make you the angry black man or the loud black woman. And then they want to be like, oh, well, because now you acting like this, I'm going to act like this. And I'm like, this is called a reaction to something that was done to me.
Yeah.
And now you don't get to take my reaction for you being disrespectful to me and then make it to feel like something's being done to you. You already did to me, baby. And you're not about to gaslight me to make me to think that it's now my fault. You shouldn't have called me out my name. You shouldn't have been disrespectful. I'm not disrespectful to you, so why are we going there? And it took my uncle who used to be in the military, and he used to do this to me when I was a kid all the time. He used to just push my buttons. And I used to never understand why my uncle used to do this as a kid. Well, what you know then? What you mean I don't know? What do you know? Like, used to like, well, why are you getting loud? Like, why you? And I didn't realize that he was teaching me how to be prepared for white people who would go around and act like that to me.
Interesting. I'm probably like the one out of the three that's maybe a little more
sensitive,
accommodating,
sensitive, but like,
accommodating,
maybe accommodating,
thoughtful.
But yeah, maybe all of those. But just like, like my energy is really rarely aggressive, so people can't really call me that because they know that's not my energy.
Yeah.
But if I'm in situations where they want to maybe be the victim and things like that, my natural tendency is like, oh, you're going to learn something today, Dan. I'm going to over-explain it. We're going to sit there and talk about this shit, Dan. And then you're either going to get so annoyed at me explaining it, or you're actually going to learn.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I get that from my dad. My dad is similar in that regard, so that I know that's where I get it from. And it used to bother me because he used to do that shit to me when growing up. I'm like, well, you just shut up, damn. And now I do it. So I don't feel like I have to excessively justify the reason why I feel a certain way. But if you're gonna ask or if you're gonna put me in a situation, then I'm going to say the reasons why, and we're gonna talk about this shit. You don't go off crying. Don't go. You started this conversation, so guess what? We're gonna have a conversation then.
Yeah.
So that's probably more my energy is just like I don't really kind of. I'm just not in that situation a lot, but once I am in it, we stand in it until I had to say what I had to say. And it's not gonna come across aggressive. You gonna hear what I gotta say though.
Yeah.
And so it's rare that I've maybe been told I've been portrayed as an aggressor, because that's just not naturally my energy. But I have had times where people want to try to play the victim, where it's clearly not the situation, and we're gonna have a conversation again.
And by the way,
I think another good lesson to this though is also knowing when to remove yourself from people and situations. You know, because the other point to this though is why are you even entertaining having to explain yourself to someone?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So at this point, if this person's supposed to be someone that you know, or they claim to know you, and then they are calling you the aggressor when clearly you weren't in this situation, that ain't a friend.
Yeah.
Leave them alone and move on to someone else.
That's the energy.
And I'm kind of curious to what situation this is in. Like, because if it's a friendship or it's a relationship or if it's a coworker and things like that, obviously if it's work, there's maybe certain ways you got to go about it if you want your job. But again, as I get older, I probably take on more Jarrell and Dewan energy, where it's just like I don't feel maybe the obligation to excessively justify anything. I still do it probably more than any out of the three of us. But again, it's just like you just learn that a lot of times folks don't want to change. That's what maybe I've learned more than anything. It's like folks are just doing it because they've either gotten away with it and it is what it is. And they don't expect someone to actually take the time and maybe try to explain shit. But then after a while, if you just feel like you're losing your breath, you realize folks just don't want to change. They've had that privilege for so long. They've gotten away with crying. They've gotten away with calling others their aggressors and things like that for so long that they don't want to take a moment and a step to be like, hold on, maybe there is a lesson for me as well at hand. Yeah. And if you find yourself in those situations, don't put yourself in that situation again. Don't talk to that person. Get away from that person. Don't socialize with that person. Things like that. Because maybe sometimes you'd be like, well, it's the only good friend I have here, or maybe there's not. And I don't know if it's a black person. It could happen in our community at times too. It's just like you just got to find ways to just get yourself out of that situation and not associate with those kind of folks. And I feel like once you start doing that energy doesn't seek you out as much anymore. So you get in those situations less and less. But if you want the time though, go ahead, pop off though too.
But you also start to, once you have that respect for yourself though, to your point though, Carell, you start to, then people start to know to start leaving you alone because you aren't the one.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out if you want to. And if you don't want to, stay your ass on over there. Right? Yeah. People start to quickly realize, all right, clearly we're not going to see eye to eye. Hell right, we ain't.
I think there's one other perspective that we haven't shared. And you've got three different perspectives in terms of how to handle that situation, assuming that is the situation. And the other thing that I want to bring up is that if you find yourself frequently in situations where this is coming up, you might want to take an objective look about maybe the problem is you as well. So, there are angry black LGBTQIA plus people that are just out there, and they always find themselves in these emotionally, racially charged, supposedly racially charged situations, that's bringing attention and also that maybe could have been avoided. And so I'm not excusing bad behavior for what it is if you're the victim of it, but also if this is happening frequently, let's just make sure that we're having a very objective take on what's actually happening, and is there a role that you're playing in why you always seem to be in a situation where this is coming up. Now, if you living in, Whitey Whitesville, that still have, Jim Crow laws and all that kind of shit, then you may find yourself in that kind of situation. But nowadays, yes, you do have things that are racially charged that are happening all the time, but it shouldn't be every single day, and it shouldn't always be directed at you.
I don't know, but being black in America fucking sucks, though. Okay,
I'm not saying it doesn't. I get it.
So I understand every day waking up, I'm like, I'm gonna do this fucking shit again. Like, God damn it. Sometimes I'm like, it's like that one scene in Family Guy when like the black people were dressed up as white people, and all of a sudden they unzipped, and they're like, finally, like, damn, I'm waiting for the day for we can just all be like, ugh. as a collective in this motherfucking country. So
yeah.
I'm
not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting. Let's be clear. I am not suggesting that bad shit don't happen to all of us a lot of the time. What I am saying, however,
I was talking about black people being
accountability.
angry.
Yep.
I was talking about black people being angry.
Yes.
I said there is a lot of justifiable reasons why black people are angry every fucking day, and it's just built into the fabric of the country.
Absolutely.
So when I see an angry person, a mad black person, I'm like, you know what?
Sometimes you gotta pop off and show niggas. That's what Kendrick told me.
What? Because who ain't tired? Who ain't tired? Who ain't tired? I don't.
You just got to. Sometimes you gotta give them this is always my last resort. But sometimes you do have to show them. Okay, if you think I'm an aggressor, I will show you aggressor.
Look.
I think
that way you know next time when you try to play me, which it probably won't be a next time. But if there is. You know that wasn't the line. Oh, Corell ain't aggressive because that is aggressor over there.
I think the flip side of what I just shared is directed more towards those that claim to be allies, because this is not what an ally does. Yeah. So if you are listening to this conversation, again, my whole point in bringing up that was we all have to take personal accountability for how we show up. Good, bad, and indifferent. We have to do that as human beings. On the flip side, if you are the person that's coming to a black person and either blaming them for the situation that they're in, similar to somebody that's a victim of sexual abuse or some other kinds of situation, if you're blaming them or not listening to them or not being empathetic for the situation that they're in, you then have to question, what is your definition of an ally? Because regardless of whether it's a racial ally, whether it's a gender ally, whether it's a sexual identity ally, whether it's an ageist ally, whatever, if you put that label on and you say that you're an ally of us, of me as an individual, then you need to be that.
Yeah. And then maybe, and here, even if, say you're in a location where it's maybe whitey, straighty, maybe the first step is don't feel obligated to excessively justify. Let them think what they think. Let them feel what they feel. Keep it moving. And it's going to be easier said than done. Trust me. Trust. But maybe sometimes like, just for my piece, at least of today. We'll cross tomorrow when we cross tomorrow. Today, I might have to just take that on the chin because it ain't worth me getting this worked up. And because like all you can control, and I think this is what DeJuan was maybe kind of hitting on, is just like all you can control ultimately is yourself. And again, some days you just got to pop up and show niggas. But maybe today you just don't got it in you. And be like, I'm just tired. I might have to take this on the chin. Let me take my ass home and go watch The Last of Us or something on TV. It's just like, and it sucks that that's the case, but like Jarrell was saying, that is the fabric this country is. And some days we just got to take it on chin, and it sucks. But I ain't got it in me to excessively justify, talk, pop off, nothing. Because these bills got to get paid, and I might be late. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a good one. So community continues in your Ask Your Aunties. I know we don't do it as frequently because we need some new ones. Yeah. So send those in. You can send them to aya@minoritetyreport.com. But 99% of the time now, y'all just DM us and be like, hey, this is on my heart and my spirit. So send those in. Yeah. We'll, put them on top of the queue and get them on here. But continue to say that. Or what is the T-line? We haven't had a T-line moment in a while. But what's that number, DeJuan?
844-832-5463.
Ooh, and we would love to hear your lovely voice. And again, you can keep yourself anonymous. And honestly, again, 99% of the time, people want to be anonymous. Why you want to be anonymous? And that's fine. So, let's see here. Speaking of maybe popping off and showing niggas, one thing that was kind of popular this week was like the one gorilla against 100 men. But then DeJuan's like, ooh, you see this? What about 100 gay niggas versus 100 straight niggas? Who would win? And I was like, I don't know.
I think the operative word in that conversation is the nigga part. Because if it was straight men against gay men, I might have a different perspective. Right. But if you're talking about black straight men versus black gay men,
it's like, shit, that's just a normal day in Atlanta.
You already know.
I saw that Phipps Mall.
Yeah.
Saw that at Lennox.
Yeah.
That's funny. Honestly, I don't know if I have an answer. Honestly, I think I would swing maybe the gay nigga side just because all you gotta do is maybe touch on that booty hole or something like that right quick, and they'd just be so disgusted, so irritated that they wouldn't know what to do. And be like, okay, 1 down, 99 more to go.
I don't know one black. No, I may know a couple. I may know a couple, but not a lot of black gay dudes that are in and around, that are north of 30, that don't know how to fight.
Right.
I don't. There's very, very few. I could probably count them on one hand. I'm traveling to Spain with them.
And I ain't trying to fight. Like, I will if I need to, but you get to where it's like, why are we fighting? Like, it's like, at least I would like to think I have worked up enough in my tool belt that would be the last resort for me. I don't know.
I never shared this on the podcast before, but like, I have fight dreams. No.
You be having fight dreams?
I have fight dreams.
What?
I have dreams.
I think you've told me
I've
this.
I've told you this before, but like, I haven't shared this on a podcast. But like, I don't have a lot. I don't dream a lot, but I will be fighting people and I'm not talking about arguing. I'm talking about fist, and I can throw down. I can protect myself. And there have been moments where I've woken myself up throwing hands, and there was somebody right next to me. And it is. This is not like once every decade kind of a situation. It happens about maybe.
My life.
It might be like, I don't know, once every 6 months. It'd be on the regular. Twice or 3 times a year, I would say. Yeah. Be fighting people in my sleep.
Devon said, don't let the Auntie Char fool you.
Not at all.
Don't let the Chardonnay fool you.
You can drop me off anywhere. Dubai, Ethiopia, the favelas of Brazil. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think now. I don't think I've ever had a dream where I'm fighting.
I had quite a few.
I could believe that. I could believe that.
I don't think I ever have.
I could believe that. Because again, it takes you a lot to even to just to get
there.
Right. So I don't see your mind at any point.
No.
Being there.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be. There's very few things that's gonna get me that torn up.
Yeah.
And that stressed
No.
that it's gonna make my brain go there. Like,
I'm a Leo. I'd be so impatient, like and it's so. I try to control it as much as I can, but I feel like what I suppress comes out in my subconscious, and I just feel like, motherfucker, we about to go in because you about to catch all these hands, and you ain't getting up.
That's right. I know that is right.
And then I'd be mad when I woke up because I wake up like
it's a perpetual cycle.
But then I wake up with the emotion on my brain, and then I'll try to remember like, what the fuck were we even fighting over? And I don't even remember.
That part you can't even remember.
Because it'd be like this. Them dreams be like, seconds.
I'm glad they be seconds for you. That'd be whole sleep cycles for my ass.
Really?
Just
y'all be waking up sweating.
let me tell you now. When I tell you, my dreams will start the moment I go to sleep, and they will last until I wake up.
Yeah,
I will.
Really?
Like today, I went to bed looking at photos of the Met Gala, and then I dreamt all night about my costume, my outfit for Cowboy Carter, and that was the whole thing. And I literally woke up, and I had planned 5 different outfits, and I had already went to 3 different websites in my head and went through all my shoes and everything like that. Started trying to throughout the whole dream. And I woke up this morning, and I had 7 outfits basically already mapped out for what I want to do.
Wow.
Like,
that's hilarious. Yeah, no, I be having long ass dreams too, where I'm like that, and then I'll be having scary dreams, where like it'll wake me up and I'll be like, oh my god, that like kind of really like trip me out, but then it'll still be on my brain, and so I almost have to like force myself to think about something else before I fall back asleep, because it will like pick right back up.
Really?
It'll be like, gotcha, bitch.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
I've got those too.
So it's either that, or a lot of times it's like music, and then like I'll have like a melody in my head, and I have a bunch of voice notes in my
That sounds so peaceful.
Clearly.
It's not though, because it is, and it isn't, and because like half the time it's me trying to wake myself up from the dream to remember it. Because if I don't do it, then it's gonna be gone in the ether. So there's so many voice notes in my phone for the last however long I've had an iPhone of just me mumbling into my phone melodies. It sounds so crazy. And I told somebody this recently, and it actually kind of changed my perspective a little bit. The way his response, because I felt like I don't tell this to a lot of people at all. So here I am telling on the podcast, damn. But and it was like a super vulnerable moment of me saying it. And he was just like, well, it's just God giving you a gift and you talking to God. And the way he said it was just so kind.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never just thought about it that way. And I was like, and then it made me think, even as much as it makes me go crazy a little bit, because like I'm trying to force myself awake and then I'm awake and then I'm sick. Then I was like, I would be super sad if that went away though. Like it literally shifted my thoughts. So I was like, you know what, God, my bad. It's just you talking to me. Okay, that's all right.
Let me take my ass to church because the devil is calling my ass collect with these motherfucking dreams. Bitch.
He said sinners.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see here. Like, I guess damn, we're already an hour into this episode.
I did have a question that I wanted to ask y'all though. So I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago, and I don't know how I got into think about it, but I was thinking about like my red flags, and I was thinking about what are some things that I'm like, damn, bitch, you should probably work on that. But then what I started to do is I started to justify my red flags, and they started to turn beige, and I was like, see, it's not bad. Like it's actually like a good thing. So, but I know when I say this out loud, which I'm about to share, it's a red flag. But
Lord.
I'm gonna try to turn it beige.
Okay.
So I wanted y'all. I'll go first, and I want y'all to think about a red flag, and then I want you to be honest, share a red flag, but then turn it beige. Like try to be like, but it's not really a red flag. I want to hear your arguments of why red flag
about what though?
About you. Like red flags
anything.
is about the person. So it's a red flag about you in any regard. God. Something that someone be like, that's a red flag. Like, it's a no.
Okay, I gotta hear your red flag.
Yeah, I need context.
Okay, so for instance, oh God.
We can bleep this out. We can bleep the red flag out.
This gonna be the clip on Sunday. Be like, y'all gotta wait till the end of this episode to hear his beige.
No, because I really be out here thinking I'm better than everybody. Like I really be out here being like, these motherfuckers ain't stopping me. Like who's seeing me? Like can't nobody touch me? Ain't nobody coming close to me. But I know that there's someone always faster. Someone better looking. Someone with more money. Someone prettier or whatever the case is. But in my mind, it's just me. I'm the baddest bitch of them all.
Oh, and that's necessarily a red flag. I'm about to turn it beige for you.
But I go into every situation, everything I do, thinking that. But the reason why I think like that is just so that I always give my best. Like I do it so that way I'm always making sure that I'm not shrinking myself because I'm thinking someone else is better than me.
This sounds like one of those interview answers. Like, tell me your weakness. Well, I like to work too hard. It's like, okay.
But I mean, like, I think some people will look at that as like, no, that's a cocky bitch. But I'm like, I'm not cocky. Like, I know that other people exist, right?
Well, I know that other people exist. Now it's turned into red flag lane. Okay, got it.
But I go in thinking that I'm number one everything. And I don't know if that's just me as an athlete, just like being competitive and just wanting to give my best in everything that I do. But I know some people will be turned off because some people like, but why everything has to be like a competition, or why does everything have to be to that level? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So some people will look at it as red flag, but I just don't ever like to do anything half-assed. That's just a Capricorn to me. Like we are just workaholics. We always... do everything at 110%.
I don't know. Again, that was beige really? From the get-go.
You think so? Okay. Well, thank you. That makes me feel better about myself. Because honestly, I was like, damn,
It turns into red if like you're constantly beating and belittling others. Yeah. And making them feel less than. Like, bitch, you fucking suck and da-da-da. Like emotional abuse and shit.
I mean, but I do be saying that in my head, though. Like,
But she has 3 feelings now, so she's regulating. self-regulating.
Change of the seasons. Change of the seasons.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like a red flag. Like I still shit and it's in my closet right now, and Fizz don't know.
That's why I'm like, I need an example of what is you talking about as a red flag.
Okay, good. Well, then we good then, because honestly, like, I've been in my self-reflecting era. I just have a lot of feelings that I'm trying to process, you know, and we don't have a therapist at the moment. So, you know, I've been trying to work on some of the homework that I've gained over the years. So, you know, I was thinking about ways of improvement. I just thought that, like, you know, I could give myself a little bit of grace of just simply not always being that intense and how I think in every situation, so I can allow myself to just exist. And I think about things like this because, you know, I just see the world right now and I'm like, damn, like I'm 37, like the retirement age was supposed to be 67, but it's going to be never land at this point. Like it ain't happening, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking about just like, how can I mentally and emotionally continue to exist with all this? And currently, my trajectory ain't that far. So I had to start. I was thinking about how I can do some shit now to just make it a little bit easier for myself as I get older. So that's why I started thinking about that, and I put that more in the red flag area because it's not really a healthy way to be thinking in every single situation. I'm talking about, bitch, I'm walking down the street, bitch, I walk better than you. Like, I'm standing there, like, bitch, my outfit look better than you. I'm always like.
So it almost sounds like it's more of a red flag for yourself than others.
Well, that's what he said.
It sounds like
that's what he said.
That's
what he said.
Sounds like it's driving yourself crazy.
So that's what I meant. Like,
it seems like this,
yourself red flags.
It seems like this is an extension of like your competition driver. You know, like you know, like I. Get my value out of being superior or perceiving myself as superior.
You said it, not me.
No, I'm just trying to, you know, like, you know, putting the words together. But it seems like this is like an overextension of your competition driver. You know, like, there are some people that compete internally within themselves. I want to be the best version of myself, and I want to always top what I'm doing. And there are others that compare themselves to others. Right. I am very similar in that regard to you, Jarrell, in that I tend to compare, you know, what I'm doing in my life, I compare myself to others, whereas I know other people, you know, that are very close to me that only compare themselves to themselves, and it seems like this might be an offshoot of that. I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, psychoanalyze or anything, but like, you know,
he said, "I am now your therapist."
There was an overinflection of if there was an overinflection of that spilled out of your head into your mouth and your actions towards other people, as Carell was saying, then that would be like a truly a red flag, and in the sense that it is destructive and it is not healthy. To have those thoughts and to regulate those thoughts, meaning they don't escape your mouth or they don't translate into actions towards other people, is actually a sign of growth and maturity, because we have all kinds of thoughts. It's do we act on them? That is a demonstration of our own growth. So,
you know what's so crazy to hear you say that is the amount of shit that I want to say that be in this motherfucking head. And I sit there some days, I'll be like, I can't be the only one that be thinking of feeling this shit sometimes. I honestly, I can't. But again, because it's such an internal thing that we do, that like, I'm how to say this, like, it's hard to normalize it when it's just you reflecting and it's not something that you're sharing about the thought process, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And that's what my intention was in this whole question, right? Was instead of it just being something that I just internalized with myself and I never really got to understand it, I wanted to normalize it by just saying, hey, does anyone else think like this? Or is it just me? Right? Because I got other things I be thinking about, and I'm like, is it just me? But you know
This
what?
is the importance.
I'm just going to assume that all the rest of those are beige flags too now. So thank you.
This is
Well, I didn't say all that. I didn't say all that.
we might need to explore those offline. But
Because some of them burgundy. They ain't even red. They burgundy.
but I think what you're touching on is a very important thing, and that's why we talk about the importance of representation. It's because other people oftentimes feel like they're suffering in silence, and because they don't. It's so reassuring to know that other people are struggling with the same things that you struggle. You know, like for example, I struggle with hypohidrosis, right? And for those who's listening who don't know what that is, that means I sweat everywhere, not just under my arms, not just well, actually I don't sweat on my
Sweat drop down my balls.
I don't sweat on my hands and I don't sweat on my feet. There's the only places that I don't. But I'm always shiny and struggle with this for my entire life. And to come out of like my 20s and feeling isolated because no one in my family is like this. You know, I'm not around other people that struggle with the same things. I never, like I don't really dance because when I move, even for like 30 seconds, my whole body starts sweating. So I can't wear silk. I can't wear like I couldn't go to like a lot of the parties and dances and things of that nature because I'll be sweating through my clothes, looking a hot mess in literally 5 minutes. And so once I got into like my late 20s and early 30s and knowing A, that this was a thing that other people struggle with, and B, that doesn't define my experience. I just have to find coping mechanisms in order to address that and to make my life more enjoyable. That's just part of the maturing process. So in the same way, there are you expressing that. I guarantee you there are a lot of people that are listening that have felt exactly what you're feeling. And they're probably thinking, thank God someone else is going through it too. I'm not in this alone.
That I'm the baddest bitch.
We the baddest bitches, community. We the baddest bitches. What? These motherfuckers ain't stopping me. These motherfuckers ain't stopping me. Okay?
That's right.
What?
That's right. Well, community, I think we're going to stop right there. And again, if you're looking for the Met Gala stuff, because someone already tagged us today in the comments on some page on mine or on Instagram said, we can't wait till the aunties give that review. It's out there on YouTube already. Yes. So after this episode, go out on YouTube and look for it and see if you agree or disagree. But anything else on your hearts and minds?
No, enjoy the week. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Yeah. Y'all stay safe out there.
Oh,
there we go. Well, wash your hands, your legs. Ooh.
By the way, the Aunteas are going to be in Seattle together.
That's right.
At the end of this month.
Yes.
So this is coming out next week. So
right.
Putting y'all on
I
notice.
got about 2 weeks.
If you are in the Portland, Seattle, Vancouver area, we're going to be there March the
May.
Yep.
May.
Somebody else say it because I'll be getting dates.
So we'll probably be getting together May 30th. It will be the May 30th.
Yes.
Somewhere in Seattle. We'll be out in the streets.
Yes.
So come and
Friday,
see
May
us.
30th. Yes.
Because I know a lot of folks be like, y'all don't be together enough. I know.
The 20th, we'll be in Seattle between the 26th and the 31st, but we'll be planning a formal get-together or informal get-together at some point in time.
Oh, yeah, informal.
Yeah, informal.
Take your shirts off and let your hair down. It'll be the weekend, bitch.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, come and see us. Pull up and say hello. We would love to see you. And until then, wash your hands, your legs, and your ass, and we will see you next week.
Bye everybody.
Bye. Bye.